So first of all, how do you create ideas? I said it wasn't a eureka moment. There are lots of sources of ideas for new products and for creating new revenue streams when you go about your daily business. I put them into two buckets, so I talk about internal source of ideas and external. So number one, internal. So in your business, you will have lots of sales reports, project review reports and market reports, and they're kind of swimming around. They're documents that email to people, and you read them, you come up with ideas. There are documents which are used as a focus for meetings, business development meetings, for example. So all of this kind of information swimming around, it creates ideas in people's head whenever you read it and you see opportunities. Brainstorming events is a classic idea generation technique, quite often misused, I think. It's not kind of get everybody in a room and let's have some great ideas. It's only successful if it's managed, that there is a process, there is a facilitator, and really brainstorming needs a clear scope about what you're trying to achieve. So it's best used in a targeted way. And in red, does that come out red? But that's supposed to be red. So in red, I put technology roadmaps, because in my experience, these are the best sources of commercial ideas. And I've got 2 slides on those to dig into that, okay, to tell you what I mean. So external ideas. Your business, you need to be scanning your horizon. You need to be looking at, in the industrial area, who's patenting what new products are coming out, who's working on what technology, what's coming out of universities, for example. Market intelligence, you need to understand what alliances companies are doing, what partnerships are happening or likely to happen, particularly through sales channels and the way that they can merge. But ultimately, the best source of external ideas is talking to your customer. But that is easier said than done. Because if you think about your typical daily contact that your business has with customers, what are they talking about? They're talking about day-to-day stuff. They're talking about delivery times or terms and conditions of sales and just the stuff of day-to-day business. It's actually quite unusual to have a conversation with a customer to consider what their needs are for the future and to kind of direct a conversation that way. And it requires a certain skill. And that's some of the value of things like voice of customer exercises, because essentially it's a script of questions you can ask. So you can force a dialogue in that way. But also, it's not for everybody. You need a certain type of person mindset to have that kind of future conversation with people. So, lots of sources, ideas, if you consider them. I'm going to 2 slides on technology roadmaps, because I like technology roadmaps. I've done a lot of them. There are various kinds of technology road mapping, but the one I found the most commercial value and benefit from is what I call a market-led technology roadmap. And essentially a roadmap, this is a schematic. I'm going to show you a real one next, okay? So this is a schematic which shows the concept. Essentially a roadmap, you're looking forward into what's happening in your market segments. And you're looking at the trends about what's happening. And if you consider 5, 7, 10 years time, if you know your market, you'll know where they're heading. Often things like new legislation coming in that's going to affect the way they have to do things. And if you anticipate that, so if you know that in 5 years' time they're going to need, this is going to happen to their business, then you can work back and say, well, what does that mean to my business? If in 5 years' time they need to achieve this, what can I as a business give them or sell them to help them achieve that? And that's essentially going to be a product or a service. And once you know that, you can work back and say, okay, well, if I know in 5 years' time I'm going to need to give them this to stay in business and to capture that opportunity, then what technology, what new designs, what new materials do I need to create? And you can actually work backwards to help design what R&D and innovation programs you're going to need to do now in order to be ready for the future. It's crystal ball gazing. And one of my clients, when I talked him through this, he called it, he said, oh, it's like reverse engineering the future.